In this box is potentially the cheapest Apple Silicon Mac in the entire world. But I'm not very confident because I just opened one side of the box and I peeked in and I noticed they didn't even put bubble wrap in here. It's just a bare MacBook in a box. So theoretically, okay, well, it's booting up. As you can see, this is the main issue with it. But I paid $150 for this MacBook Air right here. Oh, it's at the setup screen. This is why I was not confident, okay? I bought this for $150 on Mercari, which I've never used before. And I just couldn't resist $150, right? And I was mainly concerned because these MacBook Airs that are sold for parts are always iCloud locked, which basically bricks the entire logic board. Dude, is this gonna, oh my God. I'm so happy right now. This is honestly not what I was expecting. There was like no information in the listing. It just had a couple of pictures, didn't show the machine powered on at all. There was no information. They just said poor condition. That's all I had to go on when I spent $150 on this. Dear Mercari seller that listed this, I love you. I absolutely adore you because you signed out and you reset this MacBook before you sold it. You didn't just say, oh, well, it's broken, shove it in a box and send it on its way. Although to be fair, you did just shove it in a box without any bubble wrap. Well, but folks, this is very, very promising. Obviously, our screen is completely toasted, but it doesn't actually seem to be in poor condition at all. It just seems like it needs to be cleaned up a bit. And this could well be the cheapest Apple Silicon MacBook ever. So things are already looking pretty darn great with this purchase, but things got even better when I started digging. But before we get to that, a quick word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Eufy and their X8 Pro robot vacuum, the world's first with twin turbine suction and an active detangling roller brush. X8 Pro is equipped with two 4,000 Pascal suction turbines for even the challenging job of vacuuming hair out of carpet. And if you're a pet owner, you will definitely appreciate that. There's a dust box on the inside and you can see I don't even own pets, but look how much dust and hair it's collecting. And that's all thanks to Eufy's unique V-shaped roller with a comb built in to reduce tangling to almost nothing. I've had some robot vacuums in the past that didn't have that function, and hair got trapped in the roller very quickly and made them a lot less effective. Plus, X8 Pro takes away the most frustrating aspect of robot vacuums: emptying them. Let's face it, these vacuums are small and there's not a ton of room inside compared to a traditional vacuum. And that's why the X8 Pro has a 2.5 liter dust bag in the docking station. After completing a run, X8 Pro will automatically empty its contents, meaning you only need to change bags once every month and a half or 2 months. Eufy also employs their superb Laser AI Map 2.0 technology with LiDAR that can accurately measure the distance between the device and an obstacle. This allows X8 Pro to build a super accurate map of your home, which can be controlled through the Eufy Clean app. The pathfinding on this robot is superb. It doesn't leave gaps in your space, and it's able to navigate around slender and challenging obstacles like tripods or chair legs. Eufy X8 Pro has the world's strongest suction power, close to 0% hair tangling rate, and you only need to empty the main container once a month. The X8 Pro is a phenomenal choice to keep your home clean, so if you're interested in learning more, check out the links in the description below. Big thanks to Eufy for sponsoring, and now let's get back to the video. So obviously this thing is going to need quite a bit of cleaning, but I was surprised to find that the condition is almost perfect. I couldn't find any damage or even wear around the ports. So I checked the battery health and found that this machine only has 11 cycles. And that definitely piqued my curiosity, so I plugged the serial number in on Apple's website and I was absolutely gobsmacked. This MacBook was purchased in freaking April of this year. It has more than 8 months of factory warranty still on it. That's honestly incredible. This is a brand new M1 MacBook Air. I don't know how I got it for so cheap, but I do know that it needs a lot of cleaning. So I grabbed my microfiber cloth and some cleaning solution, and honestly, it cleaned up really easily. Sure enough, underneath all of this, there wasn't any damage. The thing is in perfect condition. It's brand new. So now it's time to take off our old display and replace it. The first thing you got to do is twirl out a couple of P5 screws on the bottom. Make sure to keep in mind where these came from because some of them are different lengths. And with those taken out, the bottom case just pops right off. Once you're inside the machine, the first thing that we're going to want to do is unplug the battery connector, and then there's a little tiny T3 screw that covers up the antenna connection, so we'll remove that and disconnect those. Next, there's two more T3 screws covering a plate over the display data cable, so we'll unplug that as well. And then there's 6 screws holding in the antenna bar. And this thing is held down with a bit of adhesive, so it definitely takes some wiggling to get it out, and you have to carefully thread the display data board out through the center of the antenna bar. Next, I pulled out 2 of the 3 T8 Torx screws on either display hinge. You want to leave one in because for our next step, we're going to open up the display as far as it will go, stand the machine up on its side, and now we're going to remove the final T8 screws. This will give the display the maximum range of motion, and it allows it to disconnect from the machine easily. So now we'll unbox our replacement display. I got this one off of eBay. They're quite easy to find, and apparently it's brand new. The only thing that you will want to adjust is the hinges, because most of these displays are going to ship with the hinges in a closed position. So grab a spudger, get some leverage, and open the hinges all the way to allow for easy installation. And then we'll follow all these steps in reverse to reassemble the machine. With everything now put back together, we'll power on and test the display, and then remove the protective film, and that's it, a fully repaired M1 MacBook Air. So there you have it. This has got to be the cheapest Apple Silicon MacBook in the entire world, because I spent $152.25 on this MacBook, and replacing the display cost me $181.25, which means my all-in price for this MacBook Air was $333.50. That absolutely blows my mind. What an outrageously good deal this project turned out to be. And that's $333 for not just any M1 MacBook Air, but one that's only 3 months old with 11 battery cycles, under warranty, and is in perfect condition. I can't believe my luck on this one, folks, because quite honestly, I have been trying to make this video for over a month now. I have been scouring the internet, looking at every single 4 parts listing for one of these MacBooks. I've seen them all. And the reason that it took me so long to find a machine that I thought would be suitable is because of Apple themselves. If you go on eBay right now and search MacBook Air M1 and sort by price low to high, you will only find a handful of devices for $150. And the common thread with all of them is they will have both a cracked display and an iCloud locked or water damaged logic board. And for me, that's a no-go. When you see an iCloud locked logic board, you have to get a new logic board. And that is more expensive than I spent on this entire machine. So it's just not economical. When I decided to make this video, I knew that I had a price target of around $500 that I needed to beat. Because if you go on eBay, you can find working M1 MacBook Airs for about that much money. And those don't tend to be the nicest examples, but that was the bar that I wanted to beat. I wanted to get a sub $500 M1 MacBook Air. And there were a couple of machines along the way that I thought I could maybe get away with, but this was the one that made it make sense because we had a working logic board. The way I see it, you can spend $100 to $200 buying a broken M1 MacBook Air, but you can only make it economical if you need a screen or a logic board, not both. So I definitely took a risk with this listing, but it was the only one that didn't say iCloud locked or water damage, so I figured worst case, it would be $150 and I would get some of that back parting it out. But fortunately, the flip side of that was probably the best deal I've ever had on this channel. I mean, honestly, $333 for almost a brand new M1 MacBook Air. That's crazy. But with one small caveat, and that's because I didn't go through Apple to get this repaired, I lost True Tone on the display. If you use an aftermarket display, which basically just means if you do it any other way than Apple's way, you're not gonna have that feature. There is a chip on the display that has to be paired or whatever. It's really stupid. Now this machine was cheap enough that I probably could have gone to Apple's self-service repair website and paid, I think, $330 after you return your display to replace it with a new one that would have that feature. But at that point, it wouldn't be as dramatically cheap as I wanted it to be. So I said, screw it. I'm not gonna pay $300 for Apple's displays. I'm gonna pay $180 to get one on eBay. And guess what? That's not hard to do. There are tons of listings for these MacBook Air screens, and honestly, $180 is really not that bad. Ever since Apple started using these Retina displays, the screens for their devices have been outrageously expensive. But interestingly enough, ever since Apple started offering self-service repair, the prices on the used market have gone way down. The only reason that MacBook displays are expensive for new machines and even 10-year-old machines is because the only place you could get them is from Apple laptops, and they're the most fragile component, so they're the one that everyone's replacing. So it is definitely not coincidence that as soon as Apple introduces a program allowing you to buy a replacement display from them directly, all of a sudden, the second-hand ones get a lot cheaper. And what we're left with is the cheapest Apple Silicon MacBook on the internet. And I'm absolutely over the moon with how this came out. I never in a million years did I expect to buy not only a working MacBook Air for $300, but one that was under warranty. Are you kidding me? Now, unfortunately, this isn't the type of video where I can say, and you can do it too, it's super easy. The repair itself, very, very simple, only took a couple of minutes, but actually finding a suitable repair candidate, well, it took me over a month. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. So keep your eyes peeled and maybe you too can find something just like this one day. Huge thanks to you guys for watching this video and supporting the channel. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've had any such luck or if you managed to get an Apple Silicon MacBook that's even cheaper than this. That's a tall order, but if you did find one, let me know down below. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.